We're going to talk about Viktor Schauberger. And if you haven't heard of Viktor Schauberger, then you're in for a real treat because there's a good bit of YouTube videos on him. So, really fun to learn about. So, he often said to comprehend and copy nature.
You like outside.
Yes, he was born in 1885 and he was a forest warden in Austria. So, he was outside a lot. And so
Mm.
it was through comprehending and copying nature that he discovered amazing things that people are still trying to catch up with 100 years later. That just shows you what kind of guy we're talking about here, you know? His main quote, which is comprehend and copy nature. Such a powerful quote because it's useful in every aspect of life because you can just copy nature. He was all about water. So healthy water heals the body.
He,
Working,
he had this energetic water. Like it had
yeah,
its own prana memory,
yes.
wasn't it? Something like that. Like it can remember, and it uses that memory like energy.
Healthy water heals the body. Working with nature and agriculture provides greater yields of food and food which is more flavorful and nutrient rich than just regular grocery store produce. Um, in
Hmm.
music, in music and music theory, we find that certain notes sound harmonious because of natural law, and also clothing is more comfortable when it flows naturally with your body. It keeps going and even goes as far as when you revitalize water, there's less bubbles in it. And then when you use that water to make ice for ice skating rinks and hockey rinks, that ice lasts longer. So
Oh
just
yeah.
really just the water part of it, having knowing about how water wants to flow and how it works. Some other things are his water generators, which never got finished
Mm-hmm.
because what happened was the parts would break because it was just too powerful. And his flying saucers, which we have missing parts about, like we can't find all the parts, and people can't figure out how he got them to fly. So those are his projects
You
that
can't
never
release
got
that
finished.
secret. Yeah, I
Because
really like that he started as a forester and he used water to move logs from high on a
yes,
mountain down.
he
It
yes,
wasn't just floating the logs. He realized that temperature had something to do with it, right?
yeah, he was all about the temperature because that's how he makes heavy logs float when they shouldn't float. That was his first sort of invention. But then he warned about deforestation. And ironically, his logging flumes led to more deforestation, which he didn't want. The way he learned all of this was through nature, watching it. So what we need to do is we need to learn from nature. So how can we learn
What's
from
this we're
nature?
looking at again?
That was his water generator. So I'll explain it. So what happens is when the water goes down these funnels, when you measure the friction, at some point the friction goes below zero to where it would be producing energy.
Just the momentum alone would produce energy of
Yeah,
the water because it had nothing stopping it. And he
exactly.
must have seen this somewhere. You're saying in nature. Where would you see that? I
So
guess you
yeah,
gotta have the
so
eyes to see.
that's what our next part is about. So first he was in nature. You need to go outside to learn from it.
Hmm.
Um,
Number one, go outside.
And like I would say in the morning before the hustle and the bustle of the day begins, or just whenever you're feeling relaxed and like ready to receive information. And then
Yeah, I know
so
that feeling.
yeah.
Oh, that's when I like to clip my toenails.
Anyway, so another thing that was really cool
Outside.
that I read in one of his books was what he would do is he said he would stare at a mountain stream for so long sometimes that he would almost become one with the water. And then when he regained consciousness, he would suddenly know things like he had downloaded info from the water. And
This guy with with
I
memory.
thought
It's
that
got
was so
memory
cool.
because you want to know things. You like knowing things.
Yeah, that's my thing. But going back to the technology that he about the his
Wait,
idea,
we had number one, we go to nature, and number two was
you want to be in nature and you want to be relaxed. And if you have more time, you
relax.
can try staring at a stream, or even just in one of Stuart's Wild book, he talked about going and staring at a tree at sunrise or sunset, and you stare at it for a while, like a minute or two, and then you kind of you keep staring at it, but you put your attention on your peripheral vision outside of the tree. It's like you're looking at the tree, but then you're paying attention to what's over here. So he said
Gotcha.
you'll start to see like the aura of the tree and just see little subtleties coming off the tree.
Mm.
So that's another thing, just going and staring at it for a long time. Um yeah. So that's how you can learn from nature,
Mm.
by going into it and learning from it. So,
Because nature really is going to lead you to technology. Seems like how it went here.
well, that's how it went for Victor. You know, he got into technology. So he said about what he said about technology was, when you're thinking about it, you want to think about it 180 degrees opposite, and then it would be right. And so what he meant by that, I think, is that modern technology is based in explosion and not implosion. Like, car
Well,
engines
yeah, the combustion
are
engine.
little, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything is about explosion, but he was all about implosion, which he believed would be correct. That's how he got the flying saucers are based in implosion, and people are still
Wish we
trying to.
had. I wish we. I wish we had some video of that.
Oh, hold on, yeah, I have a picture of him. Let me share my screen. There he is,
All right,
and here is the
I can do
saucer.
that. I what?
So there's the
That's
flying saucer. The
that.
parts, they said that they're missing a part. This is his grandson
Well,
right here.
it's got a regular motor below it.
Yeah, so the way it worked was the motor would get it spinning, and then you wouldn't need it the motor anymore as soon as you started spinning
Uh,
it. So
once you got to that point of no friction
yeah, but they're
because you
missing
were imploding.
parts. They're missing parts to it.
It
They
doesn't
said,
sound good though if like something implodes on itself. That doesn't sound good, does it? Is that good? That's
I
not
mean,
good.
it does explode. Does something exploding sound better? I don't know. You need both.
I don't know.
But he's just saying that we have just cut ourselves
I
off
think
from implosion
yeah.
technology, and we only have explosion. So, um,
I think like implosion would maybe give you the chance to recapture the energy better. Like you wouldn't lose it maybe.
yeah, yeah,
Explosion, it's just like out there everywhere. It's gone.
exactly. It's it's really interesting. You know, he was really into water. They call him the water wizard.
Oh, a wizard, like he was in a secret society or cult or something.
They did send him to a mental
I mean, he hung
hospital.
out with the Nazis.
He
Oh, he did. So he got
This is a great
all
video.
fish do this. This is just a cool one in like this one's like coming out of the sewer. There he goes. Look at this guy. He moves over to get into the right stream and then boom. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Look at this.
Yeah, I wanted to
That's
get
pretty
one of
neat
those.
looking.
I really wanted to get one of
And
those.
then you drink the water and it's like boom, it's like the best water. It really does energize your cells and put them into a state or a frequency that probably beneficial to health and
Definitely.
life in general. I don't think we have any subscribers yet, other than your mom.
We don't. I wanted to talk about how Taoism reveres water like Schauberger did. Its central philosophy is how to be one with nature and the way. So it's very similar to learning about water. Verse 8 of the Tao Te Ching is about water.
You gonna share it?
Yeah. So it says, the supreme good
Okay.
is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. And when you are content to be simply yourself and you don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you.
And that's what Bruce Lee meant. He said, "Be like water." I think,
Yes. And
and that's what
so
I think.
that's how you can learn from nature is so on to the next page. So he talked about using copper tools, bioplows, which flips the dirt 360 degrees. And so it's quite the opposite of how we do things today. Because everything today is based in control. So, like, we spin the soil 180, exposing the microbes. Then we spray Roundup to control the weeds or control. But then the plants die, so we create genetically modified organisms. Now we have more control. And then we have zero diversity, so the full water cycle, which Viktor Schauberger talks about. So we have to spray the skies for rain, and now we control the weather. So you see, we keep tightening our grip on nature, thinking we know better, and calling it progress. Eventually we could have full control. But then how will we know what we want to do with full control? And this gets into what Alan Watts talks about. He says, you could imagine that you could dream a whole lifetime and
Hmm.
you could have full control over and get everything you ever wanted. And then after a few nights of that, you would want to surprise yourself and you'd ask for a surprise where you would forget that you have the power. And that could be what you're doing right now. And so
Forgetting? Yeah. Yeah.
you see, you don't want full control over nature. And so that's why it's not progress because we don't know better than nature and we don't have to. We can just let it guide us.
I really want nature to be pure and good like that, you know. But then there's also sharks and violent dogs. There's
Exactly. Nature's very balanced in that way.
yeah, but you could take advice from a snake. It, you right?
Yeah, Victor would watch the
It's
shit.
okay to be sly as a fox. Do
Yeah,
I?
it's okay. It's all right. Victor would watch the snakes too and learn from how they would just be able to move in the water because they would move with it in the meandering way.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah, and I like to meander. We try to fort the with the straight streets and the just bulldoze it down. Sort of. I mean, I went to forestry school, um, and I'll tell you, they don't talk about Victor Schauberger. Never once.
dang, it's really
And
sad.
they're just plowing down forests like it's a cotton crop, and that's fine. But it just takes a lot of energy. And we got the same thing happening now with AI, and it's supposed to be this technology that's they're sort of out there, and available to everyone to access to use, but it uses massive amounts of energy. It
Uh,
just gets a little confusing to me. I mean, nature can be very 30
you,
miles east of here. We wouldn't have had any power. And they're talking about it being weeks before it comes back on. That's nature.
well, our technology's
But
kind of
I'm looking at it. You see how I'm looking at it on a different level. I hadn't stared at it for a long time and seen its work field. I'm just looking at it just like anybody else. So it's like you look at nature and let it lead you, but you got to see it with the right eyes because you'll just end up following a snake.
hmm.
A reactionary, and I think of a snake as like a lizard, or like I talk about your lizard brain. It's just reactionary. It has no.
That's great. We need that sometimes. But that the first step of that is comprehending it, which is what you're saying. You have to understand it correctly before you can copy it.
Yeah, I think you have to really be looking at it at a different level. It's like you're on a different plane, like a causal plane. I made some wonton soup tonight, homemade, and I didn't really know how to do it, but I did know how to do it.
Yes, that makes sense.
Like there's a part of me that wanted to be like, I don't know how to do this. Let me ask the AI. But I
It's
knew how
so
to do it.
because AI didn't even like I wasn't even using it that long ago. And now it's
I
like
wasn't even thinking about it.
and then before that,
Well,
we didn't even have the internet. And then now and then it's like I'm still like, how did people go without the internet? And then it's just like we're on this trajectory.
I don't, but I think you can live your life.
You have to.
You could go and live your life without.